This is the 2015 Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge, and this is the final qualifying round. The last chance to qualify meant that a full complement of 4x4s arrived to duke it out to secure a top finishing position in their respective clubs, and so ensure a seat in the eliminator rounds to follow. That also meant that a smarty box of vehicles arrived to take on the Leeuwenkloof 4x4 tracks. This eclectic collection of vehicles also included two media teams, one from Wegrij magazine in a stock standard Suzuki Jimny, as well as one from Leisure Wheels magazine in a souped-up Jeep Wrangler. More about these teams a bit later. As always, the marshals scrutineered and inspected all the vehicles for safety reasons, and clerk of the course Andre Strauss laid down the rules at the driver's briefing. And so it was time for the final qualifying showdown of the 2015 Club Challenge. Let's head straight for the action then. As seems to be the going rate this year, a Datsun gets the show on the road at Obstacle 1. This is Lawrence and Sonia Farie, and they're in a big Nissan Pathfinder. The Pathy doesn't have a rear differential lock and relies on traction control to pull it through the tougher stuff. The Nissan grinds to a halt, with the electronics doing their best to maintain forward momentum. And finally, they make it through, with several poles killed, and plenty of stops and a rollback. The Pathy starts its campaign off on a subdued note. In the passenger seat, Sonia was doing a grand job of keeping Lawrence motivated.
You did good. No. You did good. Don't worry.
This is Gerard Horn and Martin Pretorius, representing Leisure Wheels magazine. After taking part in the competition in a stock standard Ford Ranger double cab earlier in the year, and finding out that it's not quite as easy as they thought it would be, the team was back in a Wecker off-road centre Jeep Wrangler, just to clock some more off-road miles. And judging by the way they were discussing lines, they certainly meant business. Let's ride with the Jeep. Apart from the mirrors that they forgot to fold in, the team does a rather grand job, resulting in a rather peculiar happy dance from co-driver Gerard.
Okay. It's less challenging than I thought, and I still managed to mess it up.
And here's the next media team. This is Gerry van Eerden and Charles Thompson from Wegrij magazine. Right, so let's ride with the big Gerry in the small Jimny. The small Jimny, after its pole dancing exhibition at the first gate, makes it through with only that one pole down, a stop and a reverse. In the driver's seat, Gerry sums up his performance.
Dit was nie goed nie.
This is Obstacle 3. On the first 3 events, it caused much mayhem, as well as a fair amount of hopping, skipping, anxiety, recovery, and shot nerves. This is Andre Linnington and his co-driver Eric von Opper in a Land Rover Defender Puma. Let's ride with the Landy. Tackling the climb at the speed of light, the Landy makes it up. But then, almost disaster as the Landy rolls back on that steep incline. The handbrake not doing the trick on its own there. Meanwhile, Andre is a perfect picture of calm.
That was fun, but I think probably could have been done better in first gear rather than second. A bit wild.
Sean Ferris and Wendy Rees are next in a Toyota Fortuner V6. After making sure the rear differential lock is engaged, they head up this steep and intimidating climb. They don't get past the first turn as they grind to a halt. The marshals are very strict here about spinning wheels because that messes up the track for the following teams. So Sean has to take a roll back and another one. And another one. Finally, the Fortuner team throws in the towel on this tough obstacle, and they leave with nothing. On that low note, it's time to head to the shops. On the other side, the action at Obstacle 3 continues, and we catch some more oh my greatness moments at other obstacles. We're back at Leeuwenkloof and the final qualifying round of the 2015 Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge. We're still at the infamous Obstacle 3, and our next victims are Simon Grant and Thorsten Shaver in a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon.
Let's go.
The Ruby has an extra low off-road gearbox and lockers for both front and rear axles, so in theory it should do the trick. Let's ride with them.
To the right, to the right, to the right. To the right, stay back, to the right, that's it. That's it. Good going, mate, good going, mate. Good going, good going, good going, good going, yes, here we are, yeah.
And they've done it. But that speedy approach did eventually claim the lives of 2 poles, so that's only 50 points in the bank.
Did we hit a pole?
We move along to Obstacle 4, which is a very steep, rocky descent. This is Rian and Michelle Kutsia and their kids, and they're in a Toyota Hilux. Let's join the Kutsias. Unfortunately, they had taken out 1 pole, so that's 75 points. This is Obstacle 5. Here, Thomas van der Berg and Lynette Human demonstrate how to bank 100 points in their tiny Suzuki Jimny.
100.
Is it?
Ja. 100.
But what happens if you drive something a bit more substantial? Ruan and Nick Kaser drive a big and chunky Land Rover pickup. Let's ride with the father and son team.
Hou hom daar. Annette, maak jou wiele bietjie swem.
The old Landy doesn't have lockers on the front or rear axles, so it ain't impressed by those axle twisters.
Dan zit hier af 2.
The team tries again, but nope, no cigar. Although the Kaiser duo didn't do so well at this particular obstacle, they did qualify for the eliminator rounds and would eventually do very well. But on to more pressing matters. This is Obstacle 6, and although it's not quite as intimidating as Obstacle 3, it's been the scene of numerous recoveries in the first 3 qualifying rounds. And we arrive at Obstacle 6 to find Nissan Hardbody team Noel Jones and Vaughan Ashford in the midst of a monumental recovery process.
Okay. That's it. No, that's cool.
They finally get the Datsun out of the rocks, but it didn't prove to be a great off-roading day for the Nissan 4x4 Club lads.
Thanks everybody.
Hoping to keep the Landy flag flying high are Francois Dutoy and Alicia Brunden in a Disco 2 TD5. Cool hand Francois starts well, but then the Disco grinds to a halt. He tries again, but still no go.
It's brought to you by Kia. If you do test drive a Kia at any point during the month at any Kia dealership, make sure that you go into the drawer and chat to the salesperson who's helping you out.
After some strategic rocks were added, he goes for it again, and out she goes. Since the unfortunate death of the Mahindra Thar on Obstacle 3 in the first event, Francois and Derek Hubert's Scorpio is the only Mahindra left in the competition. Let's see how this pans out.
Kyk hy klip op. Kyk hy klip. Lyk hy klip.
Okay, Derek. Hy gaan bo stamp hoor.
Dis so paal maat, as hy ding oor jou spring.
Okay, momentum, klein momentum, geen pad voor Derek.
Dis op voor hom maat.
Kry 'n bietjie momentum.
So kyk kom.
Ry, ek wil oor die klip ry met my wiel.
Nou maar die en so steek jy my net langs sien.
Die kant of die kant?
The Mahindra makes it through without getting stuck, but unfortunately, the Jabers had taken out 3 poles and recorded a stop or 2, so they earn a meager 20 points for all their trouble. Henry Dippenaar and Engela Volmerens are next, driving a very capable Mercedes Gelandewagen. Henry, being a man of priority, garners some strength through a quick kiss before he tackles the obstacle. Let's ride with the Benz.
Hy loop dik van hom.
Wow, 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 wow.
Oh dear, the high lift jack is in the way, so the marshals allow Henry to stop and remove the offending jack. After removing the high lift jack, the team continues on their way. They make it through without hitting any poles or getting stuck. Now that's how you do it. That kiss certainly did the trick. Anyway, on that bouncy note, time for another break. This is the Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge, and Andre and Jordan Larson, as well as a wild hound, are our last customers at Obstacle 6, and they're in a Landy Defender 300 TDI.
Okay, that's a definite stop.
Bit too rough.
Ja, dat ek net seker maak. Dan jy sal uit hierdie posisie uit kan aangaan. Gaan jy 'n rollback vat. Want jy sal hier vanaf vorentoe uitkom.
Let's try.
Ek sal try. Kan ek maar try? Ek het nou op 'n handbrake, maar jy weet hierdie goed werk op die prop, so as hy teruggaan is dit nie 'n rollback, please. Okay.
Are we in the right gear? Let's see.
Dis nie eens 'n Ek het nie eens om 'n four-wheel drive gehad nie.
Oh dear,
Yeah.
apparently Andre doesn't realize his Landy is a permanent four-wheel drive vehicle. The center diff was just not engaged. This is Obstacle 9. This short climb is a progressive obstacle. The higher a team can go, the more points they can score. Make it all the way up and over, and that's 100 points. We're back in the Landy Defender pickup of youngster Ruan and his dad Nick. Oh dear, so that's another 0. Seems like the cameras are jinxing the Landy team some. This is former champion Danny Daniels in his Jeep Grand Cherokee. And in the passenger seat is Fritz Velgemoed. Let's see if the Jeep can get any higher than the Landy. Yes, it can. But Danny only scores 25 points.
Oh, God.
So suspension
Alright, maar dis ek dink dis 'n geval hier, is dat die progress.
Obstacle 10 is the last test of the day, and compared to some of the other obstacles, it's relatively a walk in the park. Well, sort of. This is Michael and Annalise Dutton, and they're in a Toyota Fortuner 3-litre D4D. Good job. That's 95 points earned.
Keep it going like that.
This is Dierwald and Louis in a Toyota Hilux. While Dierwald lines up the bakkie, Louis is doing his best coolnessness like I look in the passenger seat instead of spotting for Dierwald. Right, so let's see if they can earn more points than the Fortuner. No, they can't. The Hilux team took out a pole and scored 75 points.
Dit was bietjie. Baie man.
Our last customers for the day are some 4x4 heavies. It's former champion Johan Marks, partnered by his better half Cornet. Let's see how Johan goes here.
Ga jy weer met draai? Ga. Ja, maar jy mag nie stil staan, dan weet jy dit. Dis in die baan. Ga. Jy het klaar stop man. Ry op net man, ry op net. My God.
Oh dear, with one pole killed dead, that's 75 points scored. On that bombshell, it's time for the final hurrah and some prizes. In each qualifying round, the top 3 teams will win 4x4 accessories and gear from co-sponsor Opposite Lock, while the top prize will be a 10,000 Rand tyre voucher from Bridgestone, South Africa. In the eliminator rounds, the top teams will win only points, because the really big prizes will be in the game in the final event. Overall winners in both short wheelbase and long wheelbase classes will receive a set of Bridgestone tyres as well as a Trick Tough Dog suspension upgrade, courtesy of Opposite Lock. Second place will win an LED light bar and Snowmaster fridge, and third place an Opposite Lock tyre repair kit and a Melville and Moon seat cover set. Several smaller accessory prizes will also be up for grabs for the top 10 places in each class. Time to find out who made it onto the podium, and this time it was an all-Suzuki affair. In third place overall were Raymond and Anel Martin in their Suzuki Jimny. The team won a mean green recovery kit courtesy of Opposite Lock. Second place belonged to Henry and Sonia Barnes in another Jimny. And winning the final qualifying round and definitely booking their seat for the elimination rounds were Peter Smit and Gert van Niekerk in yet another Suzuki. The team won a 10,000 Rand Bridgestone tyre voucher. Next week, the Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge gets very real at the Hobby Park 4x4 Trail in Krugersdorp. As the obstacles get bigger, the challenge is tougher, and the competitors get all huffy and puffy. Till then, ta-ra!